Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. First up, efforts underway to get drivers to stop for school buses. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Ray Brewer.
The 2018 Nissan Altima and Sentra. Now with Nissan Intelligent Mobility, featuring automatic emergency braking that can help stop for you. Now's the time to save with exclusive offers like this.
As some Manchester school buses made their rounds this morning, a police cruiser was following closely behind, the kickoff of something known as Operation Safe Stop.
As a city, it's our responsibility to make sure that every single one of those 5,124 students travels to and from our schools safely.
This driver failed to stop for a school bus with flashing red lights and paid the price in the form of a $124 fine. The Assistant Commissioner of the Department of Safety says failure to stop for the lights is simply selfish.
People are deciding to put their convenience ahead of the safety of everybody in and around that bus.
Thought to myself, my gosh.
Bus driver Sandy Rose still recalls an incident in Goffstown a few years ago when a dump truck failed to stop, nearly plowing into a bus full of students.
Just as I had finished warning my kids, I saw the front bumper of that dump truck pass by the front bumper of my school bus. I don't know how he missed me.
According to the Department of Safety, over 170,000 students ride school buses every day. But it's unknown how many drivers are failing to obey the law, so drivers are collecting data.
Every driver in the 21 communities are counting how many drivers go through their red lights.
In Bedford, officers also did patrols this morning.
We found that we had great compliance with the law, and we also found that when we pulled up on bus stops for parents, they knew about the operation and they were very happy that we were out there doing it.
Planning is already underway for another effort in the fall of 2019. After that, the thought is the campaign would run every 2 years. Reporting live in Manchester, Ray Brewer, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And everyone, I would like everyone should stop for the school bus. When you see those flashing lights, it's very important to stop when those flashing lights on a school bus is out for everyone's safety around that area. So join in and pass this campaign along to other drivers and family and friends, everyone. State Police Knoll orders independent investigation of headlining of fatal OUI crash. Let's take a listen to the video from WCVB Boston.
At Mahoney's, we understand the importance of crafting beautiful outdoor spaces. This spring, let us help bring beauty into your home and garden.
They are, Doug, the family of the Bedford man killed in that chain reaction crash. Well, they believe his death was preventable. They are fighting for answers and say they will continue to push for accountability.
All of us miss him every day.
A husband, father, and Eagle Scout leader, Christopher Weitz, was remembered today by loved ones.
Chris Weitz was a loving husband and friend, son and brother. Most importantly, he was a wonderful, loving, and devoted father to his 3 children.
Weitz was killed while riding his motorcycle last August on 95 in Reading, the result of a chain reaction crash allegedly started by 51-year-old Linda Wolf of Tingsboro. She's been charged with operating under the influence of drugs. DeWolf has been convicted twice before of drunk driving. The victim's wife and family attended a court hearing today for the suspect. They questioned why she was allowed to be on the road.
Chris's death was completely preventable, and he should still be here as a part of our daily lives.
And there are also questions about what happened moments before the fatal crash. DeWolf was stopped by a state trooper for an earlier incident in Burlington and following 911 calls about her erratic driving. But DeWolf was allowed to continue on the road because the trooper determined there weren't any signs of impairment. 20 minutes later, she allegedly triggered the chain reaction crash that led to Christopher Weitz's death.
The family intends to fight for justice, accountability, and consequences for all those responsible for his tragic and preventable death.
Now, prosecutors at the court hearing today say just yesterday, 8 months after the crash, they have received the state police crash report. They plan to review this 79-page document and possibly add more charges by the next court date, which is May 31st. Live at the Woburn Courthouse, Sarah Conji, WCVB News Center 5.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Documents. Corporal Cole's alleged killer had bulletproof vest, was on drugs. Let's take a listen to the video from WMTW News 8 Maine.
Court papers shed a little more light on what was going on with accused cop killer John Williams the day of this incident last Wednesday. Police interviews with friends who picked him up that night. They say he was tweaking, he was smoking crack, and told one friend that Corporal Cole either snuck up on him or he snuck up on Corporal Cole and shot him in the head. 29-year-old John Williams, shackled and appeared to be wearing a bulletproof vest, stood before a judge as he was officially charged with murder today. Court papers also revealed detectives interviewed friends of Williams in the hours after the shooting. One friend with the same last name, Chris Williams, said John called him and said he just shot Corporal Eugene Cole in the head. Medical examiner confirming the cause of death, a gunshot wound to the neck. The Attorney General's office moving this case to Cumberland County.
All murder cases are serious, but when you have the murder of a law enforcement officer, it is one of the most serious cases that we handle. And under Maine law, we are entitled to and will be asking for a life sentence if he is convicted.
A woman who worked with Corporal Cole at the Somerset County Sheriff's Office in the courtroom today, still wondering why this shooting happened in the first place.
We're just hoping that justice is done and that we can all heal from this as soon as possible.
Williams will be returned to the Maine State Prison in Warren. Williams' court-appointed lawyer says a trial won't happen until May of next year at the earliest.
This is obviously a difficult day, and our condolences are with the family of Deputy Eugene Cole, and we promise that through this process we're going to get to the truth of what happened here.
So Corporal Cole's son, David, who works at the Somerset County Sheriff's Office, had worked with alongside his father, was here in the courtroom today with some other family members. They did not want to speak to us on their way out. Williams being held without bail tonight at the Maine State Prison in Warren. If he is convicted of murder, he faces up to 25 years to life in prison. We're live in Augusta. Jim Keithley, WMTW News 8.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And now let's take a look at your U.S. stock market and see how your U.S. stock market closed for this Tuesday evening. And here is a look at that U.S. stock market for all of you right now. Your Dow Jones Industrial Average closed in the red and went down. Your Nasdaq closed in the green and went up. S&P 500 closed in the green and went up. CNBC IQ 100 closed in the green and went up. Gold closed in the red and went down. Oil closed in the red and went down. US 10-year closed in the green and went up. Euro/USD closed in the red and went down. And VIX closed in the red and went down. NASDAQ closes higher as Apple jumps ahead of earnings. The NASDAQ rose on Tuesday, led by gains in Apple ahead of the tech giant's quarterly earnings release. Deputy Attorney General depicts latest GOP critics as cowards. Let's take a listen to part of the video and report from ABC News.
Hey everybody, I'm Devin Dwyer live at ABC News headquarters in New York. Good Tuesday morning to you. We are on location today covering all the latest stories across the country and around the world, bringing you up to speed here. A number of stories we're tracking today, including a severe weather outbreak in the middle of the country. We are on store watch. A forecast is ahead. Meanwhile, we're down at the border with Mexico. That's where that caravan of migrants has been camped out trying to get into the United States. We understand the first have stepped foot on U.S. soil. Our Matt Gutman is there. We're also tracking the highest gas prices ahead. Get ready for your summer vacation.